So, hello everyone, welcome to part B of our lectures. Now, in this part, we are going to be dealing or completing the entire definition for what is a risk, right? And during this time, I'm going to be giving you some homework questions also. So, do not worry, you are going to be solving it and you are going to be enjoying it as well. Now, before we start, let me just ask you one question. Is taking risk good or bad? Just give me the answers after the classes or after this lecture, right? Just think around, is taking risk good or bad, right? I think you're getting a feeling of a risk manager till now, but yes, just think around, is taking risk good or bad? Now, very, very important thing, we started with a definition of a risk, which is a what? 5-word definition given by whom? ISO 31000, which mentions effect of uncertainty on objectives. We understood which word? We understood the word uncertainty. Now, if anyone asks you what is uncertainty, how risk and uncertainty are related, you can use this context also. Plus, we'll be dealing on ICI material as well. But yes, now you're clear with the risk and uncertainty. Now, let's move to the word what is an effect. Sir, in Hindi, we generally call this effect as a asar, right? So, effect is generally we call it as how much, what is an effect, right? What would happen if I don't go on office on time, right? Effect is like the impact of the thing which is gonna be having, right? Now, I generally divide this effect into the two parts. I generally divide this effect into two parts. Number one, the effect can be a positive effect or effect can be a negative effect. This question came in July 21 exam, guys. This question came in July 21. Just listen it carefully. The effect can be a positive effect or a negative effect. Now, the positive effect, I generally called it what? Opportunities. And the negative effect, I generally call it what? A threats. The positive effect is called as a opportunity. Negative effect is called as a threat. And opportunity is good or bad? Opportunity is good for me, sir. Sir, opportunity is good for me. And the threats are what? Bad for you. Now, generally, the opportunity are good, and I generally called it what? Upside effect. Upside effect. What is upside effect, sir? Sir, it's gonna be lifting your business. It's gonna be good for your business, right? And that's why it's called as what? Upside effect. And the threats are called as a bad. They are called as what? Downside effect. Downside effect. Okay. So opportunities and threats. Now, what you need to do is for the upside effect, for the opportunities, it is gonna be helping you to save money. It is gonna be helping you to save time. It is gonna be helping you to save your efforts, right? But the threats is gonna be wasting your time, wasting time, wasting your money, and wasting your efforts, right? So this thing you need to understand whenever you are dealing with the effects. Now, you being a risk manager, you being a risk manager, for anything you do, you'll you can have a positive or a negative effect, right? You can have a positive or negative effect. Now, positive effect is good for you. These effects are good for you guys. Opportunities are good for you. Now, it's up to you being a risk manager. You need to see how you can capitalize those opportunities. And for the threats which are there, for these threats which are there, you need to see how I can convert those threats into an opportunity. How you can convert what? This downside effect into an upside effect. How you can convert those threats into an opportunity. Sir, simple example. Say, for example, a company from a UK is coming to India for a business. A company from a UK is coming for India to a business. It has both an opportunities and as well as a threats, right? It has opportunities as well as a threat. Sir, how can it have an opportunity? Sir, it has an opportunity for a cheap labor. It has an opportunity for getting a land on a cheaper rate. It has an opportunity of a lower taxes. But it has a threat whether the government is going to be supporting or not. It has a threat of whether the local people are going to be happy with their coming or not, right? So, you being a business manager, you need to see what is the effect of the outcome or what is the effect which is going to be coming, right? So, first, you need to see what is uncertainty. Is those uncertainty impacting my objectives, right? And what is the effect of those uncertainties? And on the basis of that, you being a risk manager, you need to decide what is going to be the end outcome. how I'm going to be managing those risks. Is this risk relevant for me or not? And this is the entire process which I'm talking about. I hope you remember I showed you the case study, or I showed you the PVR company annual report, right? There I showed you what the type of risk, what does those risk means, and what are the mitigation strategies the risk manager is supposed to follow. Right now you can relate it. Yes, this is my work. This is the things which I'm going to be going, and this things covers approximately 40 odd marks in your exams. Right now, again, it's very, very important for you to understand why managing those opportunities and threats is important or beneficial for you. Number one, it is going to be giving an efficiency. Number two, it's going to be helping in a cost effective manner. It helps to understand or achieve the organization goals in a faster manner. Right. So if a question comes, why managing both opportunities and threats is benefit for organization, you can use this content or a material in your exam as well. Right. It helps to additional cost of a training. It provides an opportunity for the management, realistic continuity management, increase team motivation, improve chances of project success. So it's easier to understand. I'm not going to be explaining you line by line. I hope you are clear with the terms, opportunities, and threat. Those who have not drawn this, please, I just request you to please draw on the class notes. If you have not received the class notes, just draw it on the notebook you have made. It is expected that you have a notebook of around 200 pages. We'll try to have a test there. We'll try to solve a lot of case studies there, right? So just draw it, those who have not drawn this, so that you doesn't miss out anything. Okay, I think you have drawn it. Let's move ahead. Right. Now coming to the next part is again very, very important. The third important thing, objectives. Right. But before going to that, you understand risk is defined top down and managed bottom up. Right. Risk is defined top down and managed bottom up. What does this sentence mean, sir? Sir, risk defined by the top down. Sir, who is more experienced, who is more qualified? Top people are more qualified. Top people are more experienced. So they generally define the risk for an entire organization. Generally, we'll be using a lot of technical terms after this classes, right? So the top level defines the risk and it's managed by bottom level. Just let us understand how does it works. How does it works? Okay. So say for example, there's a top level guy, assuming that this is a top level guy, right? Please ignore my drawing, right? So this is a top level management guy. Now this management guy wants to ensure that no one leaves the organization. Sir, he wants that the attrition rate of the company should not exceed 5%. Should not exceed 5%. What is attrition? Attrition is the rate of people leaving the organization. So say for example, if there are 100 people in the company, he doesn't want more than 5 people to leave organization within a year, right? So what I'm defining is its objective. What I did is defining the objective. Now objective is clear. I do not want any of the people to leave my organization. I do not want more than 5 people to leave our organization. Now we have defined the objective. Now the objective is defined. What the top people is going to be doing is, he has defined the objective. Now this is the responsibility of the bottom people to ensure that the people don't leave the organization. Means this will be communicated to whom? This will be communicated to HR, human resource. Now HR needs to ensure that HR needs to ensure that the people do not leave, more than 5% of the people do not leave the organization. So what here happened is the top level first defined it, then the management is done by the HR. Means the management is done by the bottom level. Right? There might be some cases where the defined or the where the few works or risk assessment process. What is the risk assessment process? I'm going to be telling you further. Just I'm saying some technical terms so that you remember it on a later time. Right? So risk assessment process, few things bottom people is going to be defining and managed by the top level. Right? Reverse process is also going to be going. But yes, it's important to know the risk is defined by the top level and managed at a bottom up level. Right? Now, sir, if I'm talking about the objectives, you need to understand the objectives is on a business level as a whole and a department level as well. So everyone has their own objective, right? Entire business has an objective, departments has an objective, right? So it's again important to see which or how the objective is defined and how the objectives are. Simple example, the business can have an objective. I want to become a leading body in automotive sector. This is an objective of what? Entire organization for automotive company. Now, if I divide on a department level, say for a HR can have a different objective. It has an objective of the company should not have an attrition rate more than 5%. It is objective of whom? HR. Similarly, a salesperson can have a different objective. I want to achieve a sales of a 10 crore. This can be objective. So I will say a business as a whole has its own objective, and its department, say for example, HR, sales, finance, lot of departments are there in every organization, right? Each department can have a different objectives, and a business will have a. Now, being an organization, you need to ensure that the objective of a business as a whole, when I talk of business of a whole, I talk about enterprise risk management. Chapter number 8, we are going to be covering in detail, which is my favorite chapter and your favorite chapter also, right? So what is favorite of mine, you'll be favorite of yours also. Do not worry. Now, what you need to ensure as a business as a whole and a department as a whole, we are going to be achieving the objective of each. Right? If you are unable to achieve it, then you will not be able to manage the risk. Right? So it's again very, very important for you being a risk manager to first understand the business, understand the objective. Once the objective is understood, you need to find out the uncertainties. Now, uncertainties which are going to be affecting the objectives of a HR, sales person, or a business as a whole, for that objectives, what you need to do is you need to manage it. Right? Now you got the definition, 5-word definition. Effect, positive, negative, right? If there is a negative effect, you need to see how I can convert into opportunities. If there are opportunities, you need to see how I can capitalize it. Second, effect of is already clear, right? Nothing to explain about it, right? Third word is effect of uncertainty. Uncertainty, I told you, right? Uncertainty is everywhere, but those uncertainties which is going what? Affecting what? The objectives of a business. Objectives can be as a whole or department level also, right? So now you being a risk manager, now you clear about what is risk, right? So if anyone asks you what is risk, what you'll say? The 5-word definition. Effect of, just speak wherever you are sitting out, right? Effect of uncertainty on objectives, right? So if anyone asks you, you'll just say this 5-word definition. Effect of uncertainty on objectives is called as a risk, right? Now, again, it's important for you being a risk manager, know that please do not get confused with the dictionary meaning of a risk. If anyone has a dictionary, can open it out and read what is given in the dictionary, right? I think it would say in Hindi a khatra, or it would say a thing which a company should avoid. I don't know what is given in the dictionary, but it is given in a negative sense. It is given in the negative sense. Risk means please do not do it. Ask your mom, Mom, I'm gonna be taking a risk. Mom will say, no, you're not gonna be doing this, right? But now you being a risk manager, you know, taking risk is a good for bad. Let's discuss a case study on this, and we'll move to further stage as well. But before move to the case study, let's have a small diagram around so that you know this objectives. So I mentioned what I did. I mentioned for this objectives. The objective is defined on a business level. So I'll make it business, right? Now this business is divided into the various functions like HR, sales, purchase, finance, right? N number of things are there, right? We are going to be dealing each of this, right? Do not worry. Everything is going to be covered in the detail. Lot of this. Now, here in not to need to mention is each department and business as a whole has its own objective, right? Now, again, one more important thing. Say, for example, sir, if I want to achieve an objective of a business level as a whole, if I want to achieve a business objective, or if I talk about achieving on a whole or a holistic approach, generally I use a term enterprise risk management for this chapter number 8. The enterprise means on an overall level. Enterprise means on an overall level, I want to achieve this. That means, sir, I want to achieve this goal on an overall level. That means I am going to be achieving an enterprise wise. I'm going to be achieving on an enterprise wise. We are going to be dealing in detail. Do not worry. Chapter number 8 is wholly and solely made on this. Sir, now I think everyone is cleared about the term risk, right? Now I think everyone is cleared about the term what is a risk. Let's see. A difference between a risk, problem and issues. Very, very important. Now you being a risk manager should not confuse about, sir, what is a problem? You being a risk manager is sitting in the office, someone comes to you stating that, sir, fire has occurred. What I'm saying? Sir, fire has occurred. Is it a risk or a problem? See, you need to understand the difference between two terms, risk and a problem statement and issue. Sir, problem or a issues has been already occurred. Sir, problem is something which is already occurred. Risk is gonna be a future event. It's a future event. Sir, you have installed a fire extinguisher because you know that risk is gonna be arising on a future. You do not install a fire extinguisher because today the fire is there, right? You're gonna be installing a fire extinguisher, or you're gonna be installing a sprinkler system because you know that if some uncertain event arising on a future date, which is gonna be impacting your organization objectives. What is the organization objective, sir? If fire occurs, I'm gonna be into a complete loss, right? And I want to earn what? Money. And I want to earn the money. But if fire occurs and the entire things is gonna be destroyed, if the things are destroyed, I'm not gonna be achieving, or I'm not going to be able to earning the money. That means that is going to be impacting your organization objectives, right? And for that thing, what did you do? You try to mitigate those risks by how? By putting the fire extinguisher, right? So you try to what? Try to mitigate those risks, which was for a future event, But sir, problem and issues are now, we have to always deal with them now. Sir, if the fire has already occurred, it is a problem. Right? But again, it's a circular relationship between the problem and issues. Now, if the problem and issues are not managed, it will lead to a risk. Simple example. Now, say for example, a fire has already occurred in a mall, right? A fire has occurred in a mall. Now, the fire has occurred. If I'm unable to mitigate it, if I'm unable to manage it, it will lead to a risk. Simple example. How, sir? Fire has occurred, entire stock will be destroyed. Everything is going to be destroyed. If everything is going to be destroyed, what a company is going to be selling? Nothing. If company is not able to sell anything, the company is not able to earn anything. If the company is able to not earn anything, the company will not be able to pay the creditors. The company will not be able to pay its loans, right? The company is unable to earn. If the company is unable to pay, then it's indirectly arising to risks, which is gonna be impacting something on a future date. So it's very, very important to understand the problems, to mitigate those problems. If you do not do it, it will lead to a risk. It will lead to what? It will lead to a risk. So I generally draw this diagram as problems will lead to risk if the mitigation is not done. The mitigation is not done, right? So it's again very, very important. So I gave you an example. If you want to write it, just write on a short. You can write it fire, then you can write stock. Stock means the stock will be destroyed, then you'll not be able to make a sales, right? If you are not able to make a sales, you'll not be able to earn money, right? If you are unable to make money, then how will you pay the creditors, right? So this is a small hint so that you know the difference between what? Problems, issues and risk. Okay? Just draw this, those who have not unable to draw it. So now if anyone comes to you, you being a risk manager, are you able to see, or what you are supposed to see? You are supposed to see what? You are supposed to see both. You are supposed to see problems also, and you are supposed to see risk also. Because if you do not see the problems, then what is going to be happening? It will again convert to risk, right? So you being a risk manager, you are supposed to see problems also and risk also. Okay. Let's see this table. What is the risk? These are uncertainty that matters. And what is the problems and issues? Are the certainties that matter. What is the certainty? Sir, it already occurred, means it's a certain event. It's a certain event, right? In exam, it can ask a different. What is the difference between a problem and issues, right? It's not given in the material, but you should be aware of these things. Because few things are not given in the material, but we are covering in such a manner that you being a risk manager, it's a bare minimum to know this. See, if you don't know these terms, how will you be managing the risk, guys, right? So this is the bare minimum, right? Please do not think sir is teaching outside from a material. See, nothing is going to be teaching or nothing is going to be taught which is not relevant. Everything which I'm going to be teaching, even a small example of a PVR which I gave, is relevant and important for your exam, right? So please listen each and every word carefully so that it doesn't feel in exam hall, sir, I didn't listen then and I'm unable to score it. We are targeting for 80 plus and we'll do it provided you listen to each and everything whatever I say, right? Now, what is the risk? We may have to deal with them in the future, or there may be a chance. Very, very important. If you are using a highlighter, please do always highlight the important words so that you can read or you can mark the important content on a last day. We always deal with them now. Important is now. Okay. So risk can be good, right? Just we see that is once resulting into the opportunities. Risk can be good or bad, है ना? They are always to the bad to have a negative consequences. Problem is always leading to a negative consequences, guys, right? So again, a differentiation or a MCQ can be asked on the same, right? So once we'll practice the MCQ, you'll come to know ki how or which thing is gonna be coming. I think someone is mentioning the doubt. Please do not worry. We'll cover the doubts at the end as well, right? Next, moving further, I hope you have drawn this. Let's move ahead. Now it's again very, very important, which I mentioned, is if the business say we want to continue the existing process, as I mentioned, is taking risk a good or bad? Now you'll be getting the answer of this question. Sir, say for example, if any of the company start saying, sir, is taking risk good or bad? Let's say for example, any company say, sir, I am happy with the existing process. I am not going to be doing anything. Do you remember Nokia? Do you remember Nokia? Do you remember this Kodak? Just let me show you the picture so that you can relate it, right? Do you remember clicking out the photo, changing this reels? I do remember it. On my birthday, every time I was allowed to take 5-6 pictures because of the reels and limitations of the reels, right? You also have must seen it, right? Do you remember just changing this Kodak reels on the camera, right? They have, I think, 30 odd reels in this. Have you ever when did you last use this Kodak reel or something sort of? I don't think anyone must have used it, right? It was also a time where you are only allowed to click 3 or 4 pictures. Please do not click more than that because we have a limited reels around, right? But now, click. We have unlimited storage and unlimited photos. But let's see if the company like Kodak was not able to capture the market now. Hardly the people now use a Kodak products, right? Why? The company was not interested or company was not ready to adopt the change. The company was not ready to take a risk to enter into the new market of digitalization, and hence you see the company has gone into what? The company has now been bankrupt and into an insolvent phase, guys. See the importance of you people. See the importance of you being a risk manager. Now, if you were the risk manager of that company, or the company would have a risk manager would like you, the company would have been able to sustain. But because of the reason, because the company did have a proper risk management, or the company didn't have a proper risk manager, now you see no one is using the Kodak product, right? So it's very, very important for a companies or organization, those who want to grow or willing to grow are supposed to take a risk. Unless and until you don't take a risk, you will not be able to grow. See, many of those who have joined the classes without knowing me, you have taken a risk, guys. Right? Now you can feel it out, sir. I have taken the risk, but I am getting a proper benefit out of it. Right? So again, in a life, you need to take a risk sometimes, so that you will be able to achieve the goal or the outcome where you want to go, right? So now again, now let's relate it. You have taken the risk. The risk can be an opportunity for you. If the classes are good, it's an opportunity. Now, if the classes are not good, it's a threat for you. Now, if it's a threat, you need to think it how I can mitigate the subject of a risk management by studying on a self or joining the classes of other faculties. But now it's opportunities for you. Now you'll be thinking how I am gonna be capitalizing in this class and I'm gonna be scoring 80 plus marks, right? So it's related to the entire things you do on your real life, but the perspective you are not, never being developed or taught of. So the subject is more of a real life things, whatever you're gonna be dealing it. Right now, I hope everyone can relate it from the classes you took and the perspective which I've created. Okay, so it's again very very important for you to see the things around. Whatever things you start looking at it, just see, is it a risk, is it an opportunity, is it a threat, is it an what it is, right? The day you start doing it, trust me, you'll feeling the subject very easy. It's only a practical subject, right? Practical as in it's related to entire business or entire things. The example of a raincoat, right? Let's move to the further part. Now, taking a risk to a step of a new area, like innovate or create and get reward, right? If the company would have done it, so Kodak would have got a reward. So risk is effect of a risk is directly related to the probability of success, which I mentioned. The effect which is gonna be coming, it will be directly related to the success. Are you gonna be achieving a success or not? Now, sir, what is risk management all about? Risk management is all about answering the six question. Now, I hope you understand the meaning of a risk. Now, you understand the difference between a risk and problems and issues. Now, you understand what is effect, what is uncertainties, right? Now, understand what is a risk management all about. Risk management is all about understanding the six basic questions. Risk management is what about understanding the six basic questions. The first question is, what is business trying to do or achieve? Sir, what is this business trying to do or achieve? Sir, indirectly, I'm trying to achieve what? I'm trying to achieve the objective. Let's discuss this question in entire detail. You're gonna be enjoying this part. And once the sixth question is answered, you'll be able to complete on an average are 4 to 5 chapters, right? And this is gonna be forming a base for your entire subject. So please, any of the students, please do not miss out lecture number 1, lecture number 2, lecture number 3, lecture number 4. Number 2, ground rule. Please watch the lectures in a sequence. Do not feel like, hey, I want to cover this chapter first or that chapter first. Everything is gonna be related to the things whichever or whatever things I'm teaching. Next important thing, from the upcoming classes, I'll try to use some technical terms. I'll say problems. You'll be able to click what is the problem. I'll say risk. You'll be able to understand it. I'll say effect. You'll be able to understand it, right? Now, let's deal with our first question. What is our first question? What is our first question? What is business trying to do or achieve? Right? This thing is gonna be again related to our what? Chapter number 8. This is my favorite chapter. What is the favorite chapter? Enterprise risk management, which is my favorite, yours favorite also. So there is a body called as a IRM, which I am part of, right? So IRM is a leading body for a risk management. It's majorly deal into the enterprise risk management, right? So I'm a part of it. Also, I do work in that body as well. I frame a lot of questions around, and it's a UK body, right, on a risk management, which makes you a risk manager, right? And that is again very very important for you to know the risk management, or I would say that is again very very important for you to understand the risk management from an enterprise level, overall level, right? So IRM body talks about that. There is also a body called as a FRM, right? Many of you have heard about the FRM, but many of you have not heard about the IRM. So IRM deals in enterprise risk management. FRM deals regarding a financials and stuff, right? So if you talk about the business, IRM is the body, right? So generally people ask me, sir, what do you do for a living? I teach risk management for a living. Okay, so do not worry about it. A lot of things I do, I'll just tell you once the classes move ahead and right. So let's start with our first question. What is a business trying to do or achieve? Sir, let's become a businessman. Let's become a businessman for the next 10 odd minutes and let's see. Now, if I ask you, you want to start a business. If I ask you what you want to start a business. Now, how does someone start a business? What all things is needed if you are going to be starting a business, right? You can mention on a chat box those who are connected on a capital, right? I'm talking from a people perspective. What type of people do you need when you are starting a business? What type of people do you need when you're starting a business? You can mention on a chat box, those who have connected on a live, those who are watching on a virtual basis, you can think around it. What type of people do you feel is needed when you're starting a business? Financial literacy, right? Skill minded people. Please do someone do not mention HR. Right? So I am more scared of the HR people. I don't know why, but I have taken a lot of challenges with the HR and stuff, right? So yes, lot of people have mentioned regarding financial people, skilled people, innovative people, right? Tech guy, right? Okay, right. Objective, interested people, right? Okay, great. Now, whenever you start the business, you need one visionary. You need one entrepreneur. Sir, an entrepreneur is someone who has a vision. Sir, I want to become a best faculty in risk management. You have a visionary. You need an entrepreneur. You need someone who has a vision, who has an idea, who has a business idea. Number one. Number two, you need a hacker, a techie guy. Generally, I say tuck, 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 tuck. So techie guy is gonna be coding for you. Techie guy is gonna be making a technology. Nowadays, you cannot imagine your day without turning on the internet, right? Now everything is based on a technology. Everything is based on a what technology. So second important people generally I feel is a technology guy. First is a visionary, those who has a vision. Second is a technology guy. Third is a hustler. Nothing is correct unless you sale is made. Whatever the best I teach, it doesn't matter unless I cannot make a sale. If you're a businessman, if you are selling a best product, you have a best product, but if no one knows about it, the world is not going to be caring about it. It's very important you become what? You have a good hustler, right? A sales guy, and next a numbers person like you, a CFO or CEO, right? You'll get ample of opportunities to become a CEO or CFO. Do not worry, I'm going to be helping you out with the job placements as well. So we have a job placement program where we teach you end to end how to appear for an interview, how to crack an interview, what best you can do in the interviews and stuff, how you're supposed to make your CV, mock interviews. I'll also giving you some leads for companies where there are vacancies. So we are actively involved in that as well. Do not worry about it. So yes, you being a risk manager, how you can start your business? You need to first you need a visionary, second you need a hacker, third you need a hustler, fourth you need a CF. Now it's not necessary all the four persons are needed. Even one person can have all four qualities, or depending on the stage of organization, depending on the type of organization, the type of people are defined. But I generally feel these are the four types which is needed to start a business, right? Type of person, not capital and everything is there, right? But the people I'm talking. Now, once this is done, this all the four people will go to whom? Will go to an investor. Hey, investor, please give me some money. Hey, investor, please give me some money. Either the money can be your own or of a third person. But suppose if you are going to an investor, let's assume you are going to an investor. Now, investor can be anybody, your father, mother, on everything. But first common question which everyone asks is, who's going to be framing a technology, how the technology is going to be framing, how you're going to be making a sales, who's going to be a numbers person, do you have a CFO or CEO in your team, how the financials are going to be made, whose idea is this, what's the vision of this, right? So you need to understand it. And generally, this four-person forms a combination, and this goes to an investor and asks for a money. What does investor looks in your business? What does investor looks in your business? You can use a chat box. If you go to an investor, what does investor ask you? What does investor ask you? If you go for any of the idea, it looks for a safety return, it looks for a more return, it looks for more money. Everyone is talking from a money perspective. I don't know why. It looks for a success of a business. Okay. What else does the investor looks? It looks for a system. Okay. Great. Okay. So if you go to an investor, investor looks, does the team have a good idea? Does the team has a good idea? Yes, someone Ritesh correctly mentioned. Does the team has a good idea? Number two, it looks, does the idea has a potential for a growth? Does the idea has a potential for a growth? Did you invested in IPO of Zomato, guys? Did you invested in the IPO of Zomato? I don't know how many of you invested. Those who have been feeling it has a good potential of a growth must have invested it. Why do you invest in IPO? You feel like it has a good potential of a growth, right? Third thing you see is the business model sustainable. What if the business is working for 5 days? After 5 days, it get closed. Will you be willing to invest it? The answer is no. You will be gonna be investing in those business which is what sustainable, which has a growth, which as a team has a good idea. And one more very very important thing, you will check how much the risk is. Sir, what is the risk? Sir, what is the risk? Please do not ask, sir. I have now learned that the 5-word definition: effect of uncertainty on, right? You'll see how much is the risk. How much is the risk? Now it's a very very important. You being into an investor or you are investing in any company, what do you see? You see, sir, what do you expect? You expect risk low, return low. You expect risk high, return high. Let's see which option do you feel is the correct. This is option A, this is option B. Which option will you select if you're an investor? You'll expect risk low, return high. Ignore the spellings wherever if it get wrong. Which option you're going to be selecting if you're an investor in any of the company? Risk low, risk high, return high, risk low, return high. If you're an investor in any of the company, what do you say? You can mention it. I think many of them have been mentioning option number C. Option C. Option B. Why someone mentioned option B? I don't know. Let's see. Sir, if I'm gonna be getting a more return by taking a less risk, everyone is willing to invest in that company. Sir, name the company with a lower risk with a higher return. I am gonna be investing. Now you can feel the importance of you being a risk manager. Someone mentioning the company's name of Infosys, right? So let's keep this confidential. After the class, the people who joined on a live will have this. Okay. So yes, so if you are an investor, you'll feel like, sir, if the risk is low and the return is high, I am definitely gonna be investing it because paisa, Gandhi ji, sir, you are gonna be earning a lot of money, right? So you being a risk manager with a low risk and a higher return, you always gonna be investing in those companies. Now you can realize the importance of a risk manager, sir. Sir, if the risk is low, if or any company, you being a risk manager, if you are able to reduce the risk, everyone is gonna be investing in your company. But if the company with a low risk and low return, no one is gonna be interested. In case there is a high risk and high return, few people will be interested. But given option C, I'm gonna be investing in the option C instead of other options. So now you can feel the importance of a risk manager, how important is your role, how important you are for any organization. Now you can see how you're going to be, what is the future for a risk manager. People ask me, sir, what is the future for a risk management? Now you can see what is the future for a risk manager. If you give any idea to a company where you're able to reduce the risk for a company and that is increasing a return, you're going to be earning an ample of money in this career. Now you can feel like risk hai. Okay, I think someone asked me in the initial stage, sir, why you mentioned risk hai to ishq hai? Now you can see the risk hai to ishq hai because everyone wants this. Oh my god, okay. Because everyone wants this, and hence it is very, very important for you, risk manager, to understand. Those who have not drawn this, please draw this out. You know, I think nothing to draw it, just overview it or draw it somewhere. Okay. Now, again, very, very important thing. Sir, as you mentioned, let's move ahead. I hope everyone has drawn it. Okay. Now, but the question comes is, from where does the risk arise from, sir? Sir, everything is okay, sir. I understood, sir. You mentioned effect of uncertainty is a risk. Sir, but tell me, where does this risk arise from? Sir, where does this risk arise from? Very, very important thing. Everything is going to be now related. Sir, risk arises from uncertainty. I know this. Right? Risk arises from uncertainty. Now, for this uncertainty is there, what you do is you take a decision. You take what? You take a decision. Sir, risk arises from uncertainty. This is clear. But for this uncertainty, you take some decision. Sir, decision can be your own or of a third person. Let me explain you this. But yes, or third person, or I generally call it as the other person. Right? Now, this risk can be arise on based on a uncertainty. For this uncertainty, you take a decision. Decision can be your own or of a third person. Now, let's take an example of a PVR. I hope you remember the example of PVR I gave it on the initial stage, right? Sir, was PVR expecting a lockdown or COVID? No one expected it, right? Sir, Was PVR expecting that Netflix is gonna be growing? No, I don't know. But as and when the lockdown came, right? Decision was of a PVR of a lockdown. No, it was of a third person, right? It was of a Mitra, Bhayo, and Beno, right? Modi ji. Now, third person has decided it. Decision is of a third person. That decision become an risk for a company because it was going to affect the business objectives, right? But in some cases, few decisions which PVR has taken, which would have arise to a risk. Say, for example, PVR has decided, let's start our virtual portal or let's start our own app, let's build our own app and start putting out the movies, right? The decision was of its own or can be of a third person. Decision, say, for example, Netflix was scaling, PVR was getting scared. Decision was of third person, Netflix, which is impacting the organization goals and objectives of a PVR. So decision can be of any person, either it can be your own or of a third person, right? So you being very, very important to know this whenever you are dealing with a risk. So see, risk arise from uncertainty. This uncertainty arise of a decision. Now decision can be of a own or a third person. Now how do you take a decision? We are going to be dealing it further, but all the important decision involve a risk. Remember this rule. All the important decision involve a risk, right? Sir, taking a classes was an important decision for you, right or not? Yes. Sir, where should I take a classes? Was an important decision for your life? Yes. Now, whether selecting a CA was an important decision for you guys? Yes. Now you know that decision. What I said is golden statement. All important decision involve what? A risk. Now you entered into CA, can be an opportunity or for a threat. Sir, what is an opportunity? I qualified in the first attempt. Opportunity. Sir, threat. Not able to qualify. Sir, do not worry. You have joined our classes. You'll be able to pass it. But yes, there can be a threat as well. Right? There can be a threat as well. So all important decision involve a risk. Say, for example, you are going to be starting a business. You're going to be starting a business. You never know what's going to be coming. All important decision involves a risk. All right. So you are acquiring any company that involves a risk, right? So just mention this golden statement with the golden words. All important decision involves risk. Now decision can be of any of the person, your own or of a third person, right? You can mention the example here if you want. You can mention the example of starting a new business, acquiring a new business, right? You can mention any of this. You can even mention of entering into a CA, right? Why it is a risk for you? Because it's going to be affecting your objective. What is your objective? I want to become a chartered accountant. I want to earn a money. I want to qualify in first attempt, right? So it's now you can relate it how it is important for you to define the objectives. Okay. Now, one more important thing, risk arise because of uncertainty. Hence, for that uncertainty, we take a decision. If you want to write the statement out, you can write it around here or somewhere, right? You can write risk arise from uncertainty. Risk arise from uncertainty. And hence, for those uncertainty, we take decisions. Uncertainty. And hence, for those uncertainties, we take what? We take decisions. Okay. Now, sir, you told me, sir, you need to take a decision, sir. But, sir, how do I take a decision? How do I take a decision? Whether I should take a CA, or whether I should do a business or not. Sir, how do I take a decision, sir? I'm not able to understand it. See how you're drilling down into each and every word. So now it's very, very important for you to be attentive in a class, right? If you are sleeping out, please do awake, have a coffee around, right? So yes, sir, how do I take a decision? So decision is taken based on the probability and consequence. Probability is generally called as a likelihood, possibility, or probability or likelihood or possibility, right? So consequence is called as an impact or exposure. Let's take a small example. Let's take a small example. Say, for example, sir, I am Ratan Tata. Assuming I am a Ratan Tata. I am not a Ratan Tata. Assuming I am a Ratan Tata. Sir, I want to set up a nano plant. Sir, I want to set up a nano plant. Sir, can you show nano, sir? Sir, last time I seen was so bad, sir. Can you please show me how does the nano look like? See, this is a nano. right? Sir, date was launched, even I decided to buy it. Sir, it cost only 1 lakh. Sir, why did it fail? Anyone knows the reason why Nano plant failed? Anyone knows why Nano failed? You can mention on the chat box. Correct? Yes, sir. Nano failed because it incorrectly marketed its product. Nano failed because it incorrectly marketed its product. Sir, in short, if I say it created a incorrect brand or reputation in front of a people. What did it say? It is a cheap product. What is the word? It used the word cheap. Now, if in India, if someone listen to word cheap, how does it mean? Cheap means, sir, very low. Sir, even though the car was good, yeah, in 1 lakh, how you can't assume to get a car like a Nano. It's good, yeah, right? But again, it's important for you how do you market the things. So what does it lead to? It lead to creating a wrong reputation in the front of a people. People feel like, no, this is a bad, this is not good. So it created what? Wrong reputation. In risk management, we'll learn about a reputation risk. How do you build up a product? How do you create a good reputation? Now, if I speak about a Maggie, hardly you remember the 2015 cases, but just now I told you, you remember. Yes, yes, yes. I do remember the lead was found in a product. My mom didn't allow me to buy the Maggie for a 2-3 odd months because everyone knows the lead is there. But now, how the Maggie was able to mitigate its reputation risk, now you feel like, Maggie, I want to eat it, yeah. Please. I don't know how many of you will be eating the Maggie after this lectures, but yes, right? So now it's very, very important, you being a risk manager, how do you market yourself? So are you a marketing expert worried about a reputation or a branding of your risk? So you being a risk manager is going to be looking into. Okay, so where I was, okay, now how do you take a decision, guys? You take a decision based on a probability and a consequence. You take a decision based on what? A probability and consequence. The probability of happening an event can be low or high, right? Probability of happening an event can be a low or high. It can be moderate, but will only consider two things, low or high, right? If many of you also say there is moderate also, but yes, I generally believe in a principle, yes or no. There cannot be a maybe, right? You being a risk manager, you need to say it is high, good or bad. You should do or not do, right? Let's try to see if it works or not. No, you being to say high or low, right? We'll also see a third case as well. But yes, if I speak about the probability, sir, what is a probability? The probability is nothing but our chances of occurring an event. Sir, simple example, I am a Ratan Tata, sir. I want to set up my Nano plant. Do you remember Ratan Tata went to, sir, West Bengal? Ratan Tata went to Didi and asked, should I set up this plant here? He started doing the work there in West Bengal, but because of few unforeseeable events, because of some things arise on, and due to that things, he was not able to start the plant, and then he shifted the entire plant to Gujarat. He shifted entire plant to Gujarat. So, say for example, I'm Ratan Tata. How is going to be taking a decision? He's going to be taking a decision. Say for example, he says, if I start a Nano plant, I'll be able to set up a plant in a 1 year. I'll be able to start a plant on a 1 year. There is a 50% chance that I'll be able to start up a plant on a first year. Or who is saying? Ratan Tata. Where he's going to be starting a West Bengal. There's a 50% chance that I am going to be able to start a plant on a West Bengal. He's saying a 50% probability of starting a plant on a West Bengal is 50%. If I set up a same plant in a Gujarat, there is a 80% chances that I am going to be able to start a plant. What is doing is he's deciding the probability. Now, once the probability is decided, he is going to be measuring the impact or exposure. He says, I am going to be earning 100 crore rupees within a year one if I set up a plant. And similar sales is going to be happening if I am going to be setting a plant in a Gujarat. Right? Now, how did a Ratan Tata take a decision? Simple, on a product of probability into consequence. He says, if I set up a plant in a West Bengal, I'm going to be earning a 50 crores. But if I set up a plant in a Gujarat, I'm going to be earning a 80 crores. Which is a win-win situation for a Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata will say, setting up a plant in a Gujarat is a beneficial for me, and hence I'm going to be setting up a plant in a Gujarat. What did he do? He decided, he take a decision based on what? Probability and a consequence. Sir, he took a decision based on what? Probability and consequence. Right? So if I say probability can be high, probability can be low, consequence can be either high or consequence can be low, or generally I would say impact would be high or impact would be, right? Sir, also I would say impact can be positive or a negative. We'll deal in a further class, but just exposure, impact, exposure, and consequence all are used simultaneously. So whenever I use different terms, please do not confuse it, right? This is gonna be framing a lot of ways for your upcoming classes. Please do not worry about it. We are gonna be dealing in detail as well. But consequence can be high or low, right? Consequence, impact, or exposure can be high or low, or it can be positive one, right? Now, on the basis of that, what did Ratan Tata do? He decided the outcome. Should I set up the plant or not? So, based on a probability and consequence, he decided what? He decided the outcome. And the outcome will decide whether the risk taken is a positive or a negative consequence. Whether the outcome, see, setting up a plant of this outcome is deciding whether the risk taken has a positive or a negative consequence. Right? If I see setting up a plant in a West Bengal is generally a negative consequence for me because I am earning more. I am going to be earning 30 crores more. Right? So you need to decide based on what probability into consequence, and on the basis of that you will find some outcome. And outcome can be have a positive or negative consequences, or it was an opportunity or a threat, or it can be an opportunity. Right? Setting up a plant in a West Bengal is a threat, but setting up a plant in a Gujarat is an opportunity. Right or wrong? Right. Okay. Let's move to our next portion. Again, let's discuss in a detail some small homeworks for you guys. Let's see this image. This is a cartoon image. I generally believe in explaining the things in a simple manner. So let's discuss with this cartoon. Sir, if I see this cartoon wants to cross this road. He wants to cross this road, sir. Now, what does he do? He was just traveling, and he saw a big hole or pot. Now he found out there are multiple types of pot. On the basis of that, his reaction is gonna be varying. Right? On the basis of that, his reaction is gonna be varying. So if I see this, there is a high probability that he's gonna be dead if he cross from here, and there is a high impact. Right? If you see the probability and the impact is high. But in this case, if you see there is a low probability and high impact, because this generally what we call as the kates are very strong, right? So he's gonna be dead. Now, low probability, low impact, and high probability, low impact. Nothing is gonna be here, but it's now on the basis of that, you need to decide what actions does the management is gonna be taking. It's a homework for you guys. So management is gonna be taking 4 actions. You need to decide which actions fit for which area. So I'll give you the 4 options. First, you need to decide where this boy need to reduce it, or for which outcome you need to reduce it. What I'm doing is I'm giving you the mitigation options. You need to decide what or where the company is going to work on, right? So first, you need to decide where on which option it should reduce. Second, you need to decide what he should avoid. Third, you should decide where you need to transfer. Do not worry, we are going to be dealing in detail, just a understanding or just a homework to understand, so that you're understanding the things. Number 4, you need to decide where you need to accept it, right? These are the 4 things you need to decide: reduce, avoid, transfer, or accept. 4 cases. Decide for which outcome which actions is going to be taken. This is the homework number 1 for you guys. Every time the class ends, I'll try to ensure that you have some case study as a homework, so that we are achieving our end goal, end objective. What is our objective? Objective is to score 80 plus marks in a, right? So yes, homework number 1. Now homework number 2, time to think. Let's think. Say for example, a company X is planning to lay off. What is a layoff? Remove. Company X is planning to remove the employees without giving a proper notice, as all the business operations are stopped on account of a COVID-19. Many of the companies has done it, right? I think you are aware of it. Yes. That can't be possible in the case of articleship. Right? So yes, many of the company has decided to lay off the employees without giving a proper notice, and has stopped working on account of a COVID. Now you being a risk manager, as you are a risk manager, what risk do you think the company will face, or mitigate or manage the same? Now you being a risk manager, what risk do you think the company will face, and what are the mitigation strategies for the same? I see you don't know about the type of risk. I know that, right? We're gonna be dealing in detail. Just think what all risk if the company is gonna be facing. What all things will happen if the company remove the manpower without giving a prior notice. Just think of it. We'll discuss the answer in detail by tomorrow, right? So I told you before the class ends, we always try to ensure that you have proper homework to deal with, right? So these are the two homeworks before we end up the class as well. And one more important thing, the more you practice, the better you participate, the better you score, right? And those who are watching on a virtual mode, expected that you are solving the homework on timely manner if you want to score well in a risk management. I told you the story of a doctor, right? The way you trust your doctor, please trust me as well. And the end of the class, you'll be very, very satisfied, and if take any of the paper, you'll be able to score at least 60 marks. Will achieve to the target of 80 provided you solve all the 5 subject tests, full subject tests. But yes, I want to see the maximum participation joining on this. I want to see each and everyone solving all the tests out. Right? So we'll move to the part C for the revision part. But before that, if anyone has any doubts, you can ask it around. Now, what is the bare minimum expectations once the classes are over? It is expected that you read the entire notes, whatever has been taught to you in a class. Complete the syllabus side by side so that the subject is 100% complete. And as and when our syllabus complete, give the full subject test. Right? No one in this industry I have seen has taken the test after the completion of the syllabus. Everyone completes it and go away. I do not believe in this principle. I believe it. If you are teaching anyone, try to ensure that he or she is 100% prepared for exam, and that is the only way, right way I feel to teach to this, right? So yes, if anyone has a doubts, you can connect with me on this number. I'll give you the number as well. Okay. So I think we'll stop for the virtual people, those who are watching it. Thanks for the virtual people, those who are joining in. The people who have connected on a live, please do stay here only.